Welcome back to Bao News Network, ladies and gentlemen. We want to welcome all of our new subscribers to Bao News Network. We are working on our special Bao to the Weather report. We're taking a closer look at some severe weather in the region of Central Florida into South Florida. We actually saw a water spout actually touch down just off the coast of Palm Bay, Florida earlier today on the radar. And we're also looking at severe thunderstorms in the region of Minnesota as well as Iowa, as well as, of course, a potential tropical storm that's brewing in the area, just in the southern area of the Gulf of Mexico near the Bay of Campeche. If it does become a tropical storm, there's a good chance that it may develop. All the models are showing that it will actually move northward into the region of Louisiana, as well as Texas, as well as Mississippi and Alabama. And as we already know, those areas are very, very saturated with lots of rainfall. If only a lot of that moisture could find its way into the southwest, which is actually dealing with severe drought, and to the likes of the Lake Mead as well as Lake Powell in the region of the southwest, they're well below capacity. They're somewhere around 34 to 33 to 34% capacity at this time. So we do see the definite contrast between extreme heat in the region, even the area of Oro Valley in Arizona. The temperature got up to 111 today. So we do see quite a bit of severe weather in that region. So we're hoping that if this storm potential depression, tropical depression moving into a tropical storm, Claudette actually makes its way towards the United States. Hopefully it will bring a little bit more extra moisture to western Texas, hopefully maybe even as far west as New Mexico as well as Arizona. So we're also taking a closer look at severe thunderstorms in the region of the southeast along the Gulf Coast states, and as we mentioned, near the Florida Panhandle. So that's actually what we're going to be covering in this weather update. So stay tuned to what we're actually going to be bringing to you, our latest Bow to the Weather report. Thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our latest About to the Weather report. We can see from our precipitation model that there is a low pressure system over the area of the panhandle of Florida, and with that said, we'll be able to see quite a bit of severe thunderstorms in the region, actually in intensifying in the region of South Florida, all the way up to Orlando, all the way up to Daytona Beach. We can clearly see it in our precipitation model. We're also looking at high pressure troughing that is actually happening in the region. Sorry, high pressure ridging that's actually occurring in the northeast. That's actually clearing out things quite a bit. We do see temperatures getting a little bit more on the higher side, higher temperature anomalies in the region of the northeast, and we are taking a closer look at what's actually occurring in the region of Central America, with a possible development of that disturbance into depression and then possibly tropical storm. Based on the National Weather Service, we're looking at possibly all the spaghetti models are showing that this system may actually make landfall, possibly as Tropical Storm Claudette, possibly on Friday or Saturday, sometime in the weekend. Of course, we're still dealing with extreme severe drought in the region of the southwest. Seems like it's actually getting worse in many areas. We actually saw temperatures in the region of Oro Valley, Arizona, 111 degrees here on June 16th. Pretty alarming. Of course, we're monitoring all of the different sites for the drought monitor, and as far as the capacity of Lake Mead and Lake Powell, they're somewhere around 33% capacity. They're nowhere near the full capacity, and we don't know if they'll ever reach that capacity ever again. And it does endanger the water supply to over 22 million people, not to mention also electricity, as well as threat to the agricultural industry. So as we go forward into our next storm prediction center modeling, we can actually see that we actually see the effects of all that precipitation in the region of Florida. If we take a closer look at some of the Doppler radar imagery today, we could actually see severe thunderstorms in the region of Palm Bay, as well as Port St. Lucie, all the way up from West Palm Beach up to Port St. Lucie, Palm Bay, severe thunderstorms, reaching all the way over to the southwest near Cape Coral and Fort Myers. We actually saw also on our radar report, local spotter report of water spout actually touched down just a little bit south of Palm Bay. So the weather was actually pretty severe in the region of Florida. We do see some really severe cells in the region just south of Jacksonville also. As far as going into the remainder of the day, we do anticipate scattered thunderstorms in the region of Minnesota as well as Iowa. And actually that entire corridor, we'll actually see that corridor of moisture going up through the Great Plains states, through the regions starting with Louisiana into Arkansas, going into Missouri, all the way up to Iowa, and eastern Nebraska also. So we actually see also the mid-Atlantic coast actually seeing more thunderstorms. Do keep in mind that there was a system that was just off the coast of the Carolinas, so that's still influencing the weather in that region. Looking at some of the temperatures, it's pretty alarming, and we have been actually noticing this for quite a few days now. The sea surface temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico are solid right now, 82, 83 degrees. Florida is looking upper 90s, North Florida. Central Texas is in the 90s, 90s in the New Mexico area, the 100s for Arizona, Yuma, Arizona 105, Las Vegas 102. We see that actually that dryness actually extending all the way up through Nebraska and Kansas and South Dakota, firmly in the 90s. And then we can also see that there's more of a precipitation along the mid-Atlantic coast states. We see more rainfall in the region of the Carolinas and all the way up to Pennsylvania as a result of the previous disturbance that was in that region. But the temperatures are pretty alarming as far as what's actually happening across the country with respect to the heat index. Also, when we take a closer look at the dew points, we can actually see the correlation between the Storm Prediction Center modeling as far as moisture making its way all the way up through the states of Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, as well as Iowa and Minnesota, and then we overlap it with the dew point index forecasting model. We can clearly see that path of low level moisture making its way all the way through the Great Plains states, influencing the weather in the region of Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, eastern Nebraska, Missouri, as well as Iowa, as well as Kansas and Nebraska. So we do see those firm dew points in the upper 70s all the way up through the Great Plains states. But if we look on either side of the left or the right of that main channel of dew points that are firmly in the upper 60s, low 70s, it's completely dry. As far as the Northeast, dry conditions there, as well as dry conditions in the Southwest, especially in states such as Arizona and Southern California, Nevada, and Utah. They're experiencing some really alarming drought temperatures at this time. So Here's a closer look at what's actually happening with that system just in the area of Central America. We're sort of seeing some, um, starting to see some organization, and we anticipate that this might develop. There's a 90% chance that it may develop over the next 5 days into some type of depression or even a tropical storm. And based on the modeling, we do anticipate that this will actually make its way northwards, and based on all of the spaghetti models, we do anticipate that it's going to make its way northward through the Gulf of Mexico and possibly impact Louisiana and eastern Texas, as well as Mississippi and Alabama, with additional precipitation and heavy rain. Right now, the residents in the region of Central America and southern Mexico, they've been receiving quite a bit of heavy rain as a result of the system, and all of the modeling is suggesting that it's going to make its way northward. So over the next couple of days, we're going to be definitely tracking the system to see what's going to actually happen. If we look at the precipitation model, we can actually see some remnants of just a little bit between just north of Cuba. We do see some pockets of thunderstorms in the Gulf of Mexico. We're not quite sure if that's actually being influenced by the system making its way northward, but we do see some organization at this time, and as it makes its way northward, and we anticipate, if anything, additional precipitation for the states such as Louisiana, as well as Texas, as well as Louisiana, Texas, as well as Mississippi and Alabama. The spaghetti models show it looks like it will make, if it does materialize into a tropical storm, it will impact the region of Louisiana with more additional rain. If you keep in mind also, after the last few weeks, this entire region that we're talking about, Louisiana, eastern Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, has been just inundated with a lot of severe thunderstorms with large hail, as well as large significant damaging gusting winds. So this system brings additional precipitation, and it's going to be an additional flooding risk. Flash flood risk advisories may be imposed at some point Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, depending on where the system actually makes its impact. So that is actually what we're working on at this time for Bow to the Weather Report. We hope to bring you additional updates on this system as it makes its way northward. We will continue to monitor it. We're going to be continuing to monitor the radar for additional strengthening of this system as it makes its way forward north towards the continental United States. It's a little bit too early to know exactly where it's going to make impact, but it's definitely a system that we are monitoring to see what's going to be happening as far as what's in store for the region going forward for the next few days. If it starts making its way northward, we'll of course put together a new update for you, and so make sure you smash that like button, share it with friends and family, especially those who live along the Gulf states of East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, in the event that this system actually makes its way northward into that region. And do keep in mind also, just if we refer back to that dew point forecasting model, if this remains consistent throughout the week, then with dew points in the low 70s and the mid 70s, it's going to translate, ladies and gentlemen, into a lot of rain for the region of Louisiana. City of New Orleans should prepare for heavy rainfall in the next few days, as well as East Texas, also Arkansas. If this corridor of increased saturation stays consistent throughout the week, then we should see, it is a good chance that we will see additional significant heavy rainfall in the region if these dew points hold up for the remainder for the next couple of days, which we anticipate that they will, based on the low level moisture in that region. So that is actually the update that we're working on at this time. Thank you for tuning in to Bio News Network. We'll continue to update you with the latest information about the weather. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that you get updated with each live stream of the weather update. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Bio News Network. And always remember to bow to the weather. Have a great day.